Okay, let's dive into this. You know, every single software team out there is facing the exact same challenge, a bug list that just keeps growing. It's this constant battle, right? But how in the world do you decide what to fix first? Well, that's what we're going to break down today, the super critical difference between priority and severity. So I want you to picture this. Your team just pushed a new feature live, and then the reports start rolling in. All of a sudden, you're looking at a list of 100 different bugs. 100. Some look kind of small, others seem absolutely massive. So where do you even start? This isn't just some textbook problem. This is the day-to-day reality for development teams everywhere. All right, before we can even think about bringing order to that chaos, we've got to make sure we're all speaking the same language. We need a shared vocabulary. So first things first, let's get crystal clear on what we actually mean when we say software bug. At its absolute core, a bug, or a defect, if you want to get formal, is really just a gap. That's it. It's the space between what you thought the software was going to do and what it actually did. It's not some weird mystery, it's just a flaw, an error, a deviation from the plan. And this can be, anything. It could be something super dramatic, like your app just completely crashing the second a user types something specific. Or it could be really frustrating, like the login failing even when you know you're using the right password. Or, hey, maybe it's just a web page that looks beautiful in one browser and is a total train wreck in another. Yep, those are all bugs. And here's the thing, not all bugs are created equal. They fall into totally different buckets. You've got your functional bugs, that's when a core feature is just plain broken. Performance bugs, that means the app is just painfully slow. Usability bugs make the app a nightmare to figure out. And security bugs, well, those are basically ticking time bombs. And of course, compatibility bugs, which just create a messy, inconsistent experience for everyone. Okay, so we've got our huge list of bugs. We know what they are. Now, how do we triage them? Well, we use two completely different lenses, two different ways of looking at the very same problem. And those two lenses are priority and severity. Think of it like this. Priority is all about the business and the user. It answers one simple question: when should we fix this? Severity, on the other hand, is all about the tech. It asks, how bad is the break really? They're often set by different teams, and they come from completely different viewpoints. So let's zoom in on priority first. This is where the QA team, the quality assurance folks, they step in. They're looking at that bug list through the eyes of the customer, through the eyes of the business. Their job, to figure out the schedule. So here's the most important thing to get about priority. It is a measure of urgency. It is all about scheduling. It tells you the order of operations based entirely on what matters most to the people using the software and, let's be honest, the people paying for it. And this creates a really clear action plan. Immediate is like the fire alarm going off. Everybody drops what they're doing and fixes this now. High is what you tackle the second that fire is out. Then you've got medium and low. Those are the things you can schedule for later, once the really critical work is done. It gives the dev team a clear roadmap. All right, now let's switch lenses. Let's talk about severity. We're shifting our whole perspective here. We're moving away from business impact and focusing purely on the technical impact. We're now in the developer's world, where they're assessing the actual damage to the code. Severity is all about measuring the degree of technical damage. It's not about when we should fix it, it's about how badly the application is actually broken. How deep does this crack really go? Is it a tiny hairline fracture on the surface, or has the entire foundation just crumbled? The absolute worst-case scenario, the red alert, is a bug with critical severity. This means a core piece of the app is completely and utterly blocked. It is a technical showstopper. It literally prevents the team from even testing the rest of the application. And this analogy just explains it perfectly. Think about a hospital emergency room. Severity is the doctor's diagnosis. You have a paper cut or you have a broken bone. That's the technical reality. But priority? That's the triage nurse's call. The company's CEO might walk in with a tiny paper cut, and a homeless person might come in with a broken bone. Who sees the doctor first? See? That's a priority call, not a severity one. So let's put it all side by side because this is where it really clicks. Priority is about urgency, it's set by QA, and it focuses on when. Severity is about impact, it's set by the developers, and it focuses on how much something is broken. They are two sides of the very same coin, but you absolutely cannot mix them up. And hey, if you need a little trick to help this stick in your brain, think of it this way. P for priority is the project manager's or QA team's call on its placement in the line. It is all about the order of the queue. And S for severity is the software developer's call on the smash. How badly the system is smashed up. How big is that technical impact? Placement versus smash. When to fix it versus how bad it is. So you might be thinking, okay, I get it, but why are we obsessing over this distinction? Well, because getting this right is literally the difference between a smooth, successful project and a chaotic, resource-draining nightmare. This has real, tangible consequences. See, when you classify bugs the right way, you protect the user experience because you're fixing what actually matters to them first. You use your team's precious time and energy effectively. You can guide your release schedule with confidence. And ultimately, you keep the business running smoothly. It's a huge win. But it is so easy to get this wrong. We see teams fall into the same traps all the time. They confuse the two terms, or one person classifies bugs differently than another, or they ignore the business side of the equation completely. And the classic mistake? Marking everything as high priority, which of course just means that nothing is a priority anymore. So as we wrap this up, let me just leave you with this final thought. This whole concept isn't just about code. Think about your own to-do list, right? Think about your own projects at work or at home. How can separating the urgency of a task from its actual impact help you make smarter, more effective decisions every single day?